I do not know what you are talking about, officer. My child would never do drugs.
We found drugs in a locker at school, so...
My child is a perfect little angel. You are wrong.
Hi everyone, so this fifth and last video is called Kids and the Police. So this is on parent and child interactions where the police have to be involved, or just a situation where someone is talking with an officer or trooper and their child is there and watching. This first situation is dealing with a phrase that I guess troopers and officers tend to hear a lot in public, a lot more than we'd think, and that is when a child is misbehaving and their parent looks and sees a trooper or officer and says to their kid, "You better behave or he's going to arrest you." And aside from that obviously being not true, it kind of sets your kid up to see the police as simply someone to be feared. It doesn't send the message that they should have positive interaction with the police, and they might be less likely to come to the police in the future if they have a problem. So don't give your kid the idea that their attitude toward the police should be a negative and fearful one. Rather, make it a positive one. Second situation is if you are stopped by an officer or trooper and your kid is in the car with you and they see you lying or scheming to get out of a ticket, denying what you did, or being just generally nasty and rude toward the trooper or officer. These are all things that send the message to your kid that that's how they should treat the police in the future or other authority figures in the future. You don't want to send them the message that it's good to lie, scheme, be nasty. You want to be a good example of two reasonable adults working out a problem, and again, set your kid up for positive interaction with the police like that. Third situation is if your kid is in trouble with the law. Obviously, this is pertaining more to older children. The first thing to remember in a situation where your kid is in trouble with the police is that it's not the end of the world. There's a different system for juveniles than for adults, so if your kid does this crime once, they're not going to have that held against them for their adult life. It's not going to be hanging over their heads forever. If you deal with it properly, hopefully they won't do it again. They won't have to deal with that in their adult life. The last thing to do in this situation is to send the message to your kid that you're just going to help them get out of it. You don't want to be an example of lying or scheming to get out of it again, and you don't want to tell them it's okay, we'll bail you out. If they see that, they're going to think, oh, my parents will just bail me out whenever I do anything wrong. They might continue that behavior more and into their adult life, and then they will be in real trouble. So you want to send the message to them that they should be honest and upfront with the police, that they should cooperate. You don't want to send the message in a case where they're involved with other kids in this crime, that they should not rat out their friends, because they need to know that honesty and truthfulness always comes before that. You want to make sure that they know they have to tell the whole truth. They don't need to see you making excuses for them or other kids. You want your child and any other kids involved to have to face the consequences of their actions so that they won't do it again. So be a good example, sit down with the police and your child, have them tell you and the police what happened truthfully. This can be a learning experience for them. If dealt with properly, it can help hopefully prevent them from continuing bad behavior, and especially not into their adult life. So any of these situations, some good things to do generally is with little kids, you should encourage them if they want to go up and say hi to an officer or trooper. A lot of times kids will think that it's cool to see, a police officer sitting there or something. They might want to go up and talk to them. And I actually was told that little children are usually some of the only people that police officers or troopers enjoy talking to throughout the course of their day. So if your kid wants to come up and say hi and have a good positive interaction with an officer or trooper, that's fine. If they're obviously talking to someone else already, you don't want to necessarily approach. might be just interrupting them, or it might be more serious where they are talking to someone who's involved in something they're working on right now. So you don't know if that might be dangerous or anything. But if they're just there by themselves, it's fine for a kid to go up and say hi or ask them a question. The second thing to do is teach your kids the basics of what to do in trouble, when to call 911, when to, if they're in trouble, go up to a police officer, tell them who they are, where they're from, ask them to help them get home or something, things like that. And again, setting up a positive mindset in your kid toward the police helps with that. They'll be comfortable going to them if they have a problem. And with older kids, teach responsibility, teach honesty, truthfulness, all those things. So that concludes our video series. Thank you and goodbye.